Hello, and thank you for tuning in to this episode of Behind the Curtain. It is the final episode for 2025. I cannot believe it. And you are stuck with just me for this last episode of the year. And that is because I wanted to talk about one of my favorite things. Now, while we talk to, and I've had the privilege of talking to so many actors and celebrities that do so many different lines of work, my heart does always lie with music. So in this episode of Behind the Curtain, we are going to be going through my favorite music of the year. We're going to do it with a fun little twist. Don't worry. It's not just going to be me talking for 30 minutes. Well, it is, but there is some interaction with it as well. We're going to be going through my Spotify Wrapped. I asked you guys on social media what your most listened to song was this year. And then I have my personal picks for my top 5 favorite albums of the year and my top 10 songs in the year. So we are going to get into all of that. Of course, starting with the coveted Spotify Wrapped. It just came out a few weeks ago at this point, but I thought it was, that perfect year-end thing. So we will go ahead and click through. I did look at it briefly. I didn't really like how you could or had to swipe. It wasn't an automated slideshow there. So I had 30,399 minutes. That's 21 days of music. I do want to note that I do use both Spotify and Apple Music. I'm not really sure why. I've just kept both subscriptions and I use them both for different things. If I am in the car, I have an aux connector, so I will play Spotify with that because it actually makes the music in the car play louder than if I were to do it on Apple Music, but I really do love both. I love the Apple interface, and I like some features that Spotify has as well. Listen to 220 genres of music this time around, and that top 5 was art pop, musicals, indie pop, oldies, and rock. Those are definitely my 5 moods, so that just fits really well here. Age is just a number. I love that they added this year with the listening age. Take some guesses right now. 33. That is my listening age. I credit that to my sister because growing up, her music was my music, and I've expanded on that. And well, I do listen to modern day 90% of the time. That 33, that 10%. Since you were into the music from the late 2000s, hits with a hint of nostalgia. Love that. Listen to 2,234 songs this year. And there's a little prompt at the bottom that says, can you guess your number one? I did already go through this Spotify Wrap just to see the data as all my friends were collecting it. But I do know that there are the 5 options here. All Lady Gaga with 1 Addison Rae peaking, and Abracadabra 100% was my most listened to song this year on Spotify. I listened to it 285 times. I have to go in and see how many times I listened to it on Apple Music. But those were my top 5 songs. Top 4 was Lady Gaga. Top 5, Headphones On by Addison Rae. I listened to 33 albums this year. I don't know how that was calculated. It had to be the ones that I've listened to in full. Top album, Mayhem by Lady Gaga. I knew when it was announced that Lady Gaga was going to have a release year this year, that she would top my year-end charts. So my top albums, according to Spotify, how will it compare to my ranking? We'll see here in a little bit. Mayhem, Lady Gaga. Addison Rae. Something Beautiful, Miley Cyrus. The Life of a Showgirl, Taylor Swift. And The Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift. Listen to 814 artists this year. We have Charlie XCX, Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift, Miley Cyrus, and Addison Rae as my top 5. Love my pop culture girls. I stick with them till the end. And I liked this feature this year where you can see the race happening. Mayhem, Lady Gaga, 756 streams in the month of March, with the 21-day streak in June, 7-day Lady Gaga streak in September. If I'm not listening to her on Spotify, I'm listening to her on Apple Music. I have tattoos representing her art on my body. Lady Gaga is my top artist. Not every year. When it's a Taylor Swift release year, and, Life of a Showgirl came out for the later half of this year, but last year for Tortured Poets Department, that was definitely in my top spot there. So they also do the clubs on this year's Spotify Wrapped. So there are different clubs that you could belong to. And they say mine is the little orange cat here, the Full Charge Crew. Your club is committed to the endless party. Club events are high. I do like listening to high dance party music. I do also love emotional ballads though, so don't know how I feel about that. 20% of global listeners are in that club. I think with some of when I do work and listen to music, I will put on sort of that higher energy dance music. So there's Troy Sivan on here, Kesha, Miley Cyrus, Doechii. I do like that music when I need to focus. I feel like it helps me lock in and get all that done. So and then it just shows you the little thing there. So I definitely wanted to know what was on everyone's Spotify Wraps. And I do like seeing how the two streaming services do compare for their year-end list of replay. I do also log my streams on an app called Last.fm. Anytime you stream a song on Spotify and anytime you stream a song that is saved to your library on Apple Music, it will count on what is called a scrobble, and you can track that throughout weeks, months, years. I know what I'm listening to and I know what I listen to the most, but I just think it's a fun way to track listening data and what you are listening to this year. Coming up after the break, I know we just got started here, but we have lots to talk about. We are going to look at everyone else's Spotify Wraps, Apple Music replays, the top music that you listened to this year when we come back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We are counting down the favorite music of the year for all of you News 8 viewers and anyone just watching this lovely Rochester First streaming app. Cannot believe it is the last episode of Behind the Curtain for 2025, and we are only just beginning this conversation of music. Asked you guys over on the News 8 Facebook page as well as the Instagram for Behind the Curtain, that is Behind the Curtain with Gio. You can see all the updates on the show. What did you listen to most this year? And the answers, definitely am going to be making a playlist of these to accompany the episode because I want to hear these different songs and albums that you guys were listening to. Alan Thomas, News 8 colleague, Wall Socket from Underscores was his #1 album, with Locals being the #1 song. Deborah's was Over the Rhine by Drunkard's Prayer. Christina Kettles, according to my 2025 recap from YouTube Music, it's a banger from 2006, Hustlin'. I love that. Keep those nostalgic classics alive. My top on Amazon Music was In the Name of the Father by President. That was from Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. Clearest Blue by Churches, that's from Deanna. Taylor Swift, Fate of Ophelia from Joe. I appreciate that, Joe. Love the Fate of Ophelia. Definitely one of my favorites off The Life of a Showgirl. Love Me to Heaven by Jonas Brothers. That comes from Jules. Tommy says Tedeschi Trucks Band, I Am the Moon. I saw Tedeschi Trucks Band back in 2023. Tracy says Wicked, the musical soundtrack. I was right there with you, especially right before the sequel this year, and it's still on my rotation. Jill says Teddy Swims, Bad Dreams. I haven't really gotten into Teddy Swims, but love that. Lisa says Mr. Brightside. Of course, go Bills Mafia. Wellerman from Jonathan. Let God Sort 'Em Out. That's from Ben, and that song is by Clips. 36 Chambers, that's from Mike, and Morgan Wallen from Connie. There are a couple Morgan Wallen songs that I do like. I remember one time I was driving, I think it was actually in a news car, and the radio came on with Everything I Love by Morgan Wallen, and it just caught my ears like that. I really did like that a lot. There were some other responses, additional responses over on the Instagram, again, Behind the Curtain with Gio there. Let's see what those answers generated. Angela, Stick Season by Noah Khan, and that album, the song and album, were her top for 2 years in a row. Maria says Party for You by Charlie XCX. Nettles by Ethel Cain comes from Madison. Leave Me Alone by Renee Rapp, and also the album that is from, Bite Me. That is a great pop dance album. It has the ballads, it has the songs to make you rock out and feel good. Punish by Ethel Cain. This was a very big year for Ethel Cain, especially with her coming to the area. She came to Buffalo a few months ago, and I've just heard great things about her, that concert, and I like the music. I like American Teenager. I like the basics. 15 Minutes by Sabrina Carpenter. That comes from Tim, of course, of course, of course, of course. And I know that my friend Georgiana also commented on my Facebook post, on my personal page, asking what music you listened to this year. And I know that Big Time Rush was a big one for her. So love all the variation in the music. Thank you guys so much for oh, there was one more response that was definitely the one that caught me off guard because I was unaware of it. Jennifer posted to me on X and said, Carousel Breezes, recordings of the original Seabreeze Carousel band organ. It's available to borrow from your Monroe County Library. So she definitely recommends that you go and do so. I loved that response just because it was so different. Love the classical nature of it. And I just think this is a really good list. And I love connecting and seeing what music everyone listens to. It's definitely very important to keep all different genres and artists alive. All right, coming up after the break, I know this was a little short segment here, but we got a full one coming for you. Up next, we count down my personal top 10 songs of the year, as well as top 5 albums when we come back. Welcome back. Now, the time has come to count down my top 10 songs and top 5 albums of 2025. This was definitely a big year for music, especially in the pop realm. We had new albums from Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Sabrina Carpenter, Addison Rae, Lily Allen. We had a new Tame Impala album. We had so much music, especially for the popular artists, that it is exciting to see where they rank on all the year ends lists, but this one is just mine. Again, it's just my opinion, and I am so curious to know yours. If you would tweet them to news_8, I would love to see what your favorite song and album this year was. So let's get into this list. Coming in at number 10, we have Chains of Love by Charlie XCX. This is for the new Wuthering Heights film. It is a later release of the year, and I feel it is very different than what she released on her 2024 album that swept the nation. That was Brat. I just love the vulnerability in the song and how she is still able to make it that Charlie XCX signature sound. It has been on repeat. When that chorus hits and the way it weaves in to the Wuthering Heights story, especially in the trailer, I think is just absolutely beautiful. I think Charlie did a great job, and it definitely gives that anticipation of how the song and rest of the music that she's making for the film sound when it all gets released next year. Coming in at number 9 is Ruin the Friendship by Taylor Swift. Now, a lot of songs, I will do a spoiler alert here, a lot of the songs from The Life of a Showgirl will not end up on my top 10 list for the rest of this year. I did like The Life of a Showgirl. I have been listening to it consistently. However, Ruin the Friendship is just a song for me that it just feels like a Taylor Swift song. I talked a little bit about it on an earlier episode of Behind the Curtain on the Life of a Showgirl release day, but I just love the storytelling of it, how it kind of takes you back into that high school nostalgia realm, which she tends to do pretty frequently, but this time it's a personal realm, whereas on Folklore, we saw her kind of do it with different characters. Now, as she enters this next stage of her life for engagement, which is something she's experiencing for the first time, she's reflecting on past loves and the way they made her feel and advice that she would give her younger self. And even though it did have a tragic end and one that is a forever unknown, she just tells the story of it absolutely beautifully under a beautiful beat. And I just love it both lyrically and sonically. Number 8, I'm very surprised that this song is on my year-end list, but it is one that I just think is absolutely beautiful. That is Mama Song by Benson Boone. Did not think I would have a Benson Boone song on my top 10. I do not think he is a bad artist whatsoever. I see the videos of him on social media absolutely rocking out during his concerts, and they look like a complete fun time. I just did not listen to the album in full as much as I thought I would if I was putting him on my top 10 list for songs. Love that song. Reminds me of my mom, and I just think there's beauty in it. It's a different type of song. A love letter to a mom is kind of rare to hear in a song. So I like the way he tells the story. I like the way he opens up to now that he's older, he can appreciate certain things about his mom and realizes how precious the time with her is. So I dedicate Mama's song to my mama, and I that comes in at number 8 for my top 10 songs of the year. Number 7, When It's Raining by the band Borderline. They are a New Zealand band, and I cannot remember for the life of me how I found this song. I think it was playing on a video on social media and it just clicked for me right away, or it maybe came up on an ad. But when I heard it, I clicked in, added it to my playlist immediately, and was very quickly learning it on piano, singing along to it. And I actually interviewed the band just because of how much I loved the song.
It was real late into the night. We were at the studio. I think we'd just recorded Heartbeat, and Ben kind of started playing this piano thing, and I kind of jumped on drums, and we kind of just went from there. And it was so just raw and real in the room writing it.
You can see how excited we are when we start playing the chorus. The whole song was pretty much done in half an hour.
Excited to continue to see Borderline grow. I believe they just opened for Teddy Swims, who I think one of our viewers who commented mentioned Teddy Swims. So hopefully if you saw Teddy Swims, you got to hear some Borderline as well, because I really like the music that they are putting out. Coming in at number 6, Twilight Zone by Ariana Grande. This is off the Eternal Sunshine Brighter Days Ahead album. Love, love, love this song. I like that it's almost a continuation to her 2024 song, We Can't Be Friends, Wait for Your Love. That song is probably one of my favorite songs of all time. It does have a little bit of familiarity with Dancing on My Own by Robin, but We Can't Be Friends just really sold it. I mean, that probably would have been at the top of my 2024 top 10 songs, just because I loved the beauty, the vulnerability in it, the music video that accompanies it. It's almost kind of the first time that we're hearing from Ariana in a personal light after she went through some different life events. So Twilight Zone is the continuation of that. I love the main hook of the song. Not that I miss you, I don't. Sometimes I just can't believe you happened. And hearing that kind of end the story that she tells, I just think is absolutely beautiful, and it ranks at number 6 on my top 10 songs of the year. Number 5, Revolving Door by Tate McRae. I had the pleasure of seeing Tate McRae in concert in Toronto back in August, and man, did that girl put on a show. You were at a true pop concert. There was choreography, sets, songs, ballads, the connection with fans. Everyone was just there to have a good time and enjoy the music, and Revolving Door just fit in that list perfectly. I love the build up in the song. I like how it starts out, you know it's going to be a good dance song, and then by the end of it, she is just exploding with dance rhythm. It's a fast paced. I keep coming back like a revolving door. My mind's racing thinking about you, and you can hear that in the music. I remember I was at a pool party this summer, and I normally like to take charge and not relinquish control to anyone else DJing the music, and Revolving Door came on the playlist, and one of my friends said, God, this song is just so good, and I have to agree. It's just a good song. Number 4, The Subway by Chappell Roan. I was very into this song when it first came out a few months ago, and I've been listening to it again for the past few weeks as I was just making sure that these songs fit the mark for my top 10 songs of the year, and boy, does it ever. I just think Chappell Roan on this song is just beautiful. I like the story that she tells. It's all about storytelling for me in a song. I do appreciate songs just because of the sound that they have, but 9 times out of 10, if I like a song, it is because of the story it tells. It talks about this love that Chappell Roan lost, a very common theme in music. But just the way that she does it talks about how someone can be in your life so close, and then they are just a stranger that you meet on the subway. And something else I really like about this song is that, normally we hear a chorus and that is repeated multiple times throughout the song with verses in between to break it up. But what Chappell Roan does is she has the catchiness at the end of the song. So she's got away, she got away. So she's had this hold on me, now she got away, I lost that forever. And you kind of hear her start with the instrumental and you just hear it build as she has this realization that the love of her life in her eyes and this state of her life right now is gone forever. So she is just dealing with that, and you hear the instrumental build, and she has the real estate for it in the song to keep that catchy hook and just keep letting it build and build and build, pulling it apart for a very vulnerable, soft ending to the song. It's just one that you can hear over again, and you want to keep screaming it, especially in the car or the shower, not from personal experience. Number 3, Times Like These by Addison Rae. I loved Addison Rae's work this year. A lot of people were on her because she's the TikTok star, gone pop star. How is she going to make it work? But I think she did all that and more. I also had the pleasure of seeing Addison Rae this year in concert, also in Toronto. It's just so quick and easy to go to those little venues. And she just put on an amazing show again with that dancing. Her vocals were good. I think for live performance, I definitely thought her vocals were good, and everyone just had a great time. But when Times Like These came on, I just like that song. Again, I like a vulnerable song. I love a sad song. I'm a very happy person, but when it comes to music, I just really can appreciate when someone takes the time to be vulnerable in a piece of music. And I think Addison did that really well with Times Like These, as well as other songs on her album. Number 1 and number 2 on my top 10 songs of 2025 were so tricky to pick. Now, as you know, Apple Music and Spotify picked Abracadabra by Lady Gaga to claim that top spot, and it did on this one. I know we still have number 2 coming up, but I'm going to keep it on a cliffhanger because it's not as expected. Abracadabra, when that song came out during the Grammys, I was having a Grammy party. I do one every year because that award show is like my Super Bowl, the big game. It is exactly what I look forward to every single year. And I had seen rumors on social media that Gaga was going to debut Abracadabra song and music video, but would Die With a Smile and everything going on. I didn't know. And just the second you hear it, you just know that Gaga is back for this pop. Just everything surrounding the song, the pop and dance and dark and that European sound mixed with the video and the dancing and the choreography and just the movement it had in re-solidifying Gaga. I mean, it's just what ran through. You know, everyone has that vocal stim. You hear a lot about that on social media, and mine for the first half of the year was definitely doing that Abracadabra choreography. So I give all the credit to Paris, her choreographer, because Abracadabra is my number 1 song of 2025. Coming in at number 2, this was so tricky to me to know if to put this at number 2 or number 1, but they are like this close together on the list. I love Walk of Fame by Miley Cyrus featuring Brittany Howard. I love I'm going to say it. I'm going to sound like a broken record. No pun intended for this music countdown, but just the way that this story talks. She talks about every day it's all the same. I live this day-to-day life of people needing stuff from me. How do I know when to walk away? And it's a 6-minute song. It's great, and it never loses its energy. You hear Brittany Howard kind of being almost like a voice of reason. You'll live forever in our hearts. You are a legend. You've done it for us. Now you can just keep being great. You've done it already. Don't feel this pressure anymore. Don't feel like you have to walk away because you've already done the work. It's out there for you. Ooh, yeah, it's a walk of fame, and through the mirror, I can see it so clear. Walk away, walk away. That's how she's feeling. And then again, you hear the voices in your head, which is Brittany Howard in this song saying, don't walk away. You are that legend. Stick around. All right, top 5 albums of 2025. Number 5, West End Girl by Lily Allen. Now, none of these songs made my top 10 songs list, although Madeline is probably sneaking in at number 11 there. It's been a while since I have dived into a Lily Allen album. I really only know the hits of Smile. And I saw it all over social media that people were talking about how it is a concept album talking about her relationship and kind of the downfall of it and how she had to kind of quickly rebuild her feelings. And it talks about infidelity, and it just has all these themes that I think she takes a new approach to. The song Madeline that I referenced is her actually confronting the person that her partner is rumored to have had an affair with, talking about, why would I trust anything that comes out of his mouth? So I'm coming to you. And now why would I trust anything that comes out of your mouth? It really just kind of takes you through the stages of grieving a relationship in a very modern way. I really like that album a lot. I'm hoping to catch her on tour in 2026. Top four, for number four is Man's Best Friend by Sabrina Carpenter. I didn't think I liked this album when it came out. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was the setting or mood I was in, but I was definitely sleeping on it. I love the album as a whole, so that is why no top 10 songs from the album made it on that list. My Man on Willpower, though, probably has to be my favorite song off the album. I don't know what it is. I like her intonation on certain parts of the song, and I just like how fun it is. She's talking about, he used to be literally obsessed with me. Suddenly I'm the least sought after girl in the land. She's talking about, hey, I'm Sabrina Carpenter. Why aren't you paying attention to me? Hello. There's also When Did You Get High? It's just a fun album. She knows how to make fun music and just let people kind of relax a little bit. She does it with a little bit of scandal, but it is always appreciated in the art world. Number three, Easy, Addison by Addison Rae. I loved this album. I like that it was produced by three women, all women team that was on this album. So that's just a little nugget that's already into great music. But I just found myself going through this album front to back multiple times. In the Rain, Aquamarine, High Fashion, Fame is a Gun, Headphones On. I mean, there was just not one song on that album that I listened to it and thought this does not fit. For a debut album, I think she should see more success in the future, because this was just a really solid start. Again, number one and number two are this close together. Something Beautiful by Miley Cyrus comes in at number two on my top 5 albums of 2025. The song came out in the beginning portion of the year, and I just fell in love with it instantly. I've never given up on Miley. Plastic Hearts back in 2020, Angels Like You, High, Never Be Me. Those songs stay with me in my soul for eternity, and Something Beautiful was just a collection of music that is going to add to that list. There is not one song on there that does not belong there. The interludes on it are beautiful. It just talks about where she is in her life and what she's facing. There was a visual film for the album that was released in theaters. I did get to go and experience that, and what an experience it was. Seeing her visuals and her kind of mindset for the songs on the album definitely made me appreciate them much more. And every time I listen to the album, I think about that visual film and just how much it stuck with me. I just like the different themes that she talks about. Let's Pretend It's Not the End of the World. More to Lose is a slow ballad. You're looking like a movie star in a worn out coat, so I throw away my pride. It happens all the time. Pretend You're God. Walk of Fame. Every Girl You've Ever Loved. We see also some very different features than we see on, hyped, anticipated collabs from artists. We see Brittany Howard. We see Naomi Campbell, who is just integrated into these songs perfectly. So Something Beautiful, you are ranked at number 2 on my top 5 albums of 2025. Mayhem by Lady Gaga obviously comes in at number 1. That album, wow. I had the luxury. I did not get to see Miley Cyrus on tour because she did not tour this year. So Miley, if you are listening, please go on tour because we need you. I did have the luxury of seeing the Mayhem Ball, Lady Gaga on Madison Square Garden, 3rd row on my birthday. And every time I close my eyes, I think about that concert. I watch my videos religiously, and I just am taken back to that show every time I hear the album. Just the dance. It's just so interesting to see these artists do this type of music when they are in these stages of their life. We see Gaga in Engagement, which we've seen her in before, but she is just purely happy. She's taking herself back, and we get to see that play out through the music and the visuals. And when you see that on stage, I mean, she sang Brooklyn Nights on tour in Germany a few weeks ago. That's an unreleased Gaga song that no one thought that they would ever hear live, and she's just realizing who she is as an artist again, even though I don't feel like it was ever lost. I know she says that it was lost, but I don't feel like she ever really lost her spark. But knowing that she's making the music and she knows that her spark is back just made it all the better. So Mayhem by Lady Gaga, you are my number 1 album of this year. If you follow me on social media, I'm sure that was not a shock at all. Thank you so much for counting down the music and songs of 2025 with me. Like I said, I want to know what you were listening to this year and what music you are going to carry into for 2026. So let me know on social media. I also want to say thank you for supporting the launch of Behind the Curtain this year for 2025. It has been such a success story that I want to continue to see grow. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching this episode and all the episodes so far of Behind the Curtain. Have a happy new year, and I will see you in 2026. Take care.
Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 On Demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.